What's up, YouTube? It's Wrestlemania weekend. So, Wrestlemania takes place this Sunday. Very excited. They're having it in New York, and it's Wrestlemania weekend, which means today's Friday, there's TakeOver tonight, and then there's a whole bunch of things, WWE Hall of Fame thing, plus there's the New Japan show. It's like New Japan / Ring of Honor. That's tomorrow. That should be cool. But, of course, WrestleMania is on Sunday. And the other stuff is really for, like, super duper hardcore wrestling fans. And I'm going to watch TakeOver. I'm probably going to watch some of the New Japan stuff. But I wanted to give my WrestleMania 35 predictions. So let's talk about that. Now, there are 16 matches on this card. I'm going to go through all of the matches. And we will just see what my predictions are for the WrestleMania card. First match on the card is the most recently announced one, and it's the Revival, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Now, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are a recently reformed tag team. They were a tag team like a decade ago. They were the Edgeheads, they were the Major Brothers, but now they're just Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. The Revival are the current tag team champs, and honest to God, I think Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are going to win, because I think the Revival are on their way out. So it really, I think, depends on whether or not the Revival are staying or going. I think if the Revival are staying, they'll retain the tag team titles, the Raw tag team titles. But I think if the Revival are going to AEW, which seems pretty likely based on all of the social media banter, that I think Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are going to pin them in some ridiculous fashion, or maybe just they'll squash him or something, which would be funny because Hawkins hasn't won a match in like 300 matches or something like that. And so I think WWE may intend to bury the Revival. And they would do that by having Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder squash them. Although I like Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. I think they're cool. I liked them particularly as the Edgeheads like a decade or so ago. And it'd be cool if they won the tag team champions. I'd be cool with that. Next one is the Raw tag team, or not the Raw, the SmackDown tag team titles. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, versus Ricochet and Aleister Black, versus The Bar, versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. The Usos are literally the best tag team of all time. They're fantastic. Maybe it's them in the New Day. I don't know. I prefer watching the Usos. I think they, as far as ability is concerned, and just what they do in the ring, and what they do together, and just how their chemistry work. I mean, they are brothers. They're Rikishi's kids. Like, Rikishi from back in the Attitude Era, dude with big butt. Those are his, sons. And they're awesome. And I hope they retain. I don't think they will, though. I think a lot of this match sort of depends on what happens at TakeOver, because Ricochet and Aleister Black are going against the War Raiders for the NXT tag team titles on Friday. It's kind of a weird situation. I don't know. I think the Usos are going to retain. I think that makes sense. The Usos just won the titles like a month ago, so I think the Usos retain here, and I think that makes sense. But with the Usos retain, I would imagine Hawkins and Ryder will probably win. So that's the two tag team ones. And then we have the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, formerly the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal, but then everybody came out and was like, Fabulous Moolah was a bad person. Like, oh, okay, so maybe we just call it the Battle Royal. So Women's Battle Royal, throw them over the top rope. This is kind of a BS match. I expect Mandy and Sonya, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose probably to be the last two. One of them is going to win it. Probably Mandy. They're kind of giving her a little push. Or maybe Asuka. It'll be probably Asuka, Sonya, and Mandy, and that'll be the end, and then Asuka will probably win it. Just so that she doesn't feel so buried because they pulled the Women's Championship off of her to throw it in the main event. But we'll get to that. The next one that is listed here is the Boss and Hug Connection. Bayley and Sasha versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya versus the Iconics versus Nia Jax and Tamina. I kind of hope Bayley and Sasha drop the belts to the Iconics. That's what I hope is going to happen. Although I think Bayley and Sasha are going to retain again. I don't know. They haven't really defended it very much. So I don't know. I kind of want to see Bayley versus Sasha. And I kind of think that maybe it's time for like the Iconics, or maybe let, Nia Jax and Tamina do something, but maybe they'll put it on Beth and Natalya, and they'll let Beth Phoenix stay around for a little while and give Natalya a little title rub. It's been a while since Natalya's held any titles. So I'm thinking that Boston Hug Connection are going to drop the belts. I'm not sure to who. But we'll go with Nia Jax and Tamina on this one. And we'll see. I'll probably rewatch this and see how I did. Next one listed here, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. I think they're going to put it on Kofi. I think this is Kofi's WrestleMania moment. It just makes sense. Daniel Bryan's been such a great heel champion, though. So I wouldn't mind if he retained, but I do think that they're going to put it on Kofi. So I think Kofi deserves it. I think that'll be cool. So I'm going to take Kofi on that one because that's going to be flippin' sweet. Next match, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Roman just got back. Nobody's going to beat. I don't care how much Drew has been booked as a killer. Nobody's beaten Roman. He just got back from leukemia. That Roman's going to win. That'll probably be pretty quick. That might be the P-break match. And we got Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor, and Balor's coming out as the Demon. I hope this is a squash match, and I hope the Demon squashes Bobby Lashley real fast, because I could not be any less interested in this match, or any less interested in Bobby Lashley. But I do like Finn Balor. I like the Demon. He's back here, actually. There's the Demon, Finn Balor, right there. I do like Finn Balor. I do like the Demon. I hope he wins in short order, and I think that'll happen. And if that happens, I'll be happy. It'll get a good pop from me, and it won't be a huge waste of time. Next is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think there's going to be some shenanigans here because Colin Jost and Michael Shea are in it, and Braun Strowman's going to... I don't know what's going to happen. I think Jost and Shea probably somehow eliminate Braun in some weird fashion. I don't know. Nobody cares. I don't care about this. I don't care. Colin Jost is going to win. That's what's going to happen. And then he's going to get these hands. That's what's going to happen. Because it's a lame piece of crap anyway. Then Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Love Samoa Joe. This is a U.S. title match. Love Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is a killer. And I think he's going to beat Rey Mysterio. And I hope he does. Because I think that all the babyfaces can't win, and I don't think Rey Mysterio needs to pin Samoa Joe to cement any legacy or anything. I just think they have to put on a good match, and I think Rey can take a loss to Joe because Joe's a killer, and that'll be fun to watch. So excited about that. Then we got AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. I don't know how this one's going to go, honestly. It's really a toss-up, 50-50. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. I think Styles is going to end up winning. I hope it's a good match. Randy Orton matches tend to be sort of very 50-50. They're either like Headlock City, or he just sells like crazy and lets his opponent get a ton of offense in, and then RKO at the end. So I hope it's not a slow, methodical pace. I hope it's quick and cool, and I hope it really showcases AJ Styles, because he's awesome, and he's been not so much participating in matches and whatnot. I think his new contract, he negotiated down how much time he's going to be spending on TV and just in the ring in general. So he hasn't had a ton of matches lately, and I think this will really kind of help, because AJ's like 40 now. This will really kind of help AJ kind of put on a good show, and I think Randy Orton's the one to do it. And they're both sort of legends in their own right, so I think this will be a really good match. And then Triple H versus Batista. Very excited about this because they had some pretty awesome matches back in the day. So Triple H versus Batista really probably will be it'll be a cool match. I don't know if Batista's can still go. I mean, dude is shredded still. Triple H can still go. As long as nothing, it's always, these are tough because these are older guys. So as long as nobody like tears a calf muscle or like pulls a pec or something like that happened. Like Triple H tore his pec the last time he was wrestling. So, and like the beginning of the match. And that match was a stinker cut because of it, because Triple H was supposed to carry the match, and then like Shawn Michaels had to carry the match. So I think that'll be cool. I do think Triple H is going to win, though. He's never beat Batista, and I think that's part of it. Plus, they put if Triple H loses, he must retire from in-ring competition. And it's no holds barred, so they're going to, do the thing where they hit each other. There actually might be blood here because Triple H can make that call. So there may be blood, and this will probably go on like third to last. This will be like, it'll be this one and then the main events. And then the other one, this will probably be on early or on the pre-show, but it's listed kind of weird here. Buddy Murphy, who is the Cruiserweight Champion, versus Tony Nese. This will probably be Buddy Murphy's best matchup that he's had yet because, one, Buddy Murphy's awesome, and I kind of think that he really shines above everybody else. I watched 205 Live a little bit, and I think Buddy Murphy shines above everybody else. I would like to see Buddy Murphy on the main roster. I kind of am not. I don't know if 205 Live is necessarily. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily needed as a show. It's kind of. It's get very. I don't know. It's back and forth for me. But Tony Nese is great. Those guys are going to put on a great match, and that could be the best match of the night, truth be told. But that'll be a good one to watch. I think Buddy Murphy retains. He's a monster, but he could drop it. I don't know. He's had it for a while now, but I think Buddy Murphy needs to retain. And then the first main event, but is not the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. I want Seth to win. Clearly, everybody. I want the championship to be on TV sometimes. Like, that'd be great instead of just like a couple Raws before WrestleMania. And it should like be defended sometimes. I was super stoked when Roman won, and then he got cancer and he had to drop it, and that sucked. But he's back now. So I want Seth to win. I don't know that Seth will win. I think it's probably a last-minute decision, and he'll probably be like, "Yep, just keep it on Lesnar," as Vince tends to do. Also, Brock Lesnar doesn't have any announced UFC matches coming, so I know he's like wanting to fight again in the UFC, but I don't know if he's gonna. And if not, he's gonna try to negotiate and get them big WWE paychecks. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Lesnar's been coming pretty hard. He hasn't been phoning it in at least since like SummerSlam. He's been, any match he's been in has been pretty good. So I'm excited to watch that one. But I hope Seth wins. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Lesnar wins. But I'm going to say Seth Rollins is going to win and become the Universal Champion. I think he really carried the WWE for a while and did the best that he could with everything he was given. So I think he deserves a title reign. I think it'll be a good one too. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And then the main event, triple threat women's match, first time ever. Ronda Rousey, who's the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, who is the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and the man, Becky Lynch, who is clearly the crowd favorite. I think Becky wins. I don't think that WrestleMania can end with anybody other than Becky holding up both titles. I just don't. I think that has to be what happens. I think that's going to be what happens. And that's what I want to see. That being said, I think this is going to be a killer match. I think I love Ronda's spots, what she does, because she just looks like she's ready to kill somebody in like really short bursts. And I think that's really cool. Everybody has their best match with Charlotte. I don't necessarily think Charlotte's always the best. She kind of looks a little too long and lanky sometimes, and like doesn't always work like with other smaller women in the ring. And both Becky and Ronda are small. But Becky and Charlotte have a lot of good chemistry, and I don't know. I think that'll work out really well. And then I think Becky wins at the end, and I think it'll be just a great match. I think it's going to go for a long time, and I think they're going to tear the house down. I really think it's going to be good, and I think Becky's going to win, take both titles, and hopefully they fuse them. I'm kind of thinking, at least with the way things have started to boil down, that they're about to do away with the brand split again, especially with Fox, them wanting to get all the ratings up and what have you. And I think doing away with the brand split and having better storylines that are more cohesive from one show to the next, etc., will really do wonders for all of that. So I'm hoping this is like a merge of the women's championships, or maybe even like, maybe they'll repackage it. Maybe there'll be a women's championship, and then they'll introduce like a mid-level card, women's championship card if they do away with one of the, because that's sort of what's going on with the like 2 championships anyway. I think they need to merge the women's championships, have a mid-card women's championship, and then have the tag titles. And I think that makes sense moving forward, because that way you can have somebody, the top stars feuding over the women's championship, the mid-carders, your Sonya Deville's, your Mandy Rose's, feuding over that mid-card belt. And, you know, then you can just have your tag team champs that can bounce around from NXT to SmackDown to Raw and what have you. And that'll be cool. And I think they need to do that with the women's stuff. There's just not enough women. The roster's not as deep as you would hope. And a lot of them, there's a big gap like between Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky. Like, there's a big gap between how really freaking good they are and how great their matches are to watch and, like, the rest of the women's division. So it's pretty hard to say that, you know, oh, there's these other people that are on this level, because they're not. And if Ronda she wants to have a family, if she goes away to do that, then it's really just Charlotte and Becky, and we don't need to see that for another year. You know what I mean? So it'd be good to sort of get that done. Also, hopefully they'll pull Shayna Baszler up if she drops the women's title today, which is Friday, in NXT. They'll hopefully pull her up because Shayna's awesome, and I would like to see Shayna feud with literally anybody on the main roster. I think that would be amazing, and I would watch every second of it because I think Shayna's awesome, and so that's my goal. But yeah, Becky Lynch, women's champion, both Raw and SmackDown, gonna happen. Those are my predictions. Let me know what you think down in the description. Who do you think's gonna win? What match? Huge card. I'm gonna watch it. I'll be very tired at work the next day, but gonna totally be worth it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.